If you walk up to 10 strangers on the street and go, "Well, let me tell you something, brother," or "Well, you know me, Gene," I bet at least 9 of them know who you're referring to. And if they don't, then they probably was born after the year 2010. Because in the 80s and the 90s, Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, whatever you want to refer him to, not only did he have the wrestling industry, but he had the entertainment industry in a chokehold, and that pun was intended. Listen, man, he was probably almost as popular as Michael Jackson at the time, and Michael Jackson in the '80s was he was that dude, but Hulk Hogan was right there with him, man. You know, and I was one of those kids, man, that looked up to him. You know, I started watching wrestling probably about the age of 6 or 7, and when I was 8 or 7 or 8, Hulk Hogan really he hit the scene, man. And he first that's when he first won the title. And after that, man, it was the Hulkamania era, man. It was, he took off. He shot off like a lightning bolt. He was on movies and TV. I mean, at this particular time, well, he was like the one of the pioneers to help wrestling like cross over into like mainstream, to where, it was in music and it just, it was everywhere. And he was the face of that, you know. Hulk Hogan was one of the people that made me interested in exercising and lifting weights and stuff like that. My first exercise equipment that I ever had was a Hulkamania workout set. It came with two plastic blue sand-filled dumbbells, a jump rope, a hand grip, a cassette tape. Remember, I don't know if you remember those cassette tapes. The audio tapes. Um, what else did it have? It had a workout chart that had all the exercises and the muscle groups and everything that they worked out. I think it had a couple wristbands and a headband or something, and it might have been something else in there. I forget. And I still have the weight somewhere, and I definitely still have the cassette tape. The rest of the stuff, I don't know what happened to it, but I still have those things at least. And like I said, and that's something that I still carry to this day. Like, you know, uh, health and wellness and physical fitness is something that is a lifestyle for me to this day. So I have to say that Hulk Hogan was a major part and a major influence in that. But, on the flip side of that, as a kid, you don't know to separate the character from the man. You only know the character. You don't even understand the difference, right? Because on TV, you see something that's larger than life. You see a superhero, he's saying all the good things. He's talking about praying and training and taking your vitamins and all that. So he's saying all the right things, and those are all good things, by the way. Those are not bad things to uh to follow, you know. So there's a part of him that obviously believes in it or believed in it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said it. I don't really think anybody gave him that to say. I think he came up with that on his own, and it became one of his catchphrases as well. But the man, Terry Bollea, well, I don't know him. I only knew Hulk Hogan. I don't know who Terry Bollea is. I never met him. I didn't care to, you know. So maybe a decade or so back, he got caught in a compromising position, and he got caught on tape saying something that would make you believe that he was racist. And I'm not gonna lie, when I heard that, I was disappointed. I was definitely disappointed because I'm like, man, that's not the dude I knew. I don't know who that guy is, and lost a lot of respect. And but at the same time, you get over it. I don't hate him or have any hatred towards him or whatever. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like in my opinion, I don't think he's racist. And I know that might sound crazy. Like, well, how can he not be a racist if he said that? Listen, I do not think that he was a racist. I do think, however, that he was prejudiced and very ignorant. And there is a difference. Racist hates every other race besides their own. They hate every race besides their own. Key word. Prejudice just means maybe you don't like because you don't understand, or you're just ignorant to another race. I mean, you just don't know anything about it. You don't know. It's the same thing with religion or even like sexuality. If you don't understand it, then you're probably going to be prejudiced to it, and you're going to be ignorant to it because you don't understand what it is uh that it is. But you can't hate it, because in order to hate, you've had to love something first. But that's another topic for another day. But kind of, but not really. So I don't think that he was racist. uh, but just just a little, like I said, just a little ignorant and a little prejudiced, and he got caught saying something that I don't know if he said it regularly or not. I don't know. I do not know. But I do know that he did get attacked quite a bit, during his life. And even after death, people are still attacking his character, which is crazy because it's like, you got to let that hate die as well. He's no longer here. There's no reason to keep attacking the man why his family is mourning his death. Um, that kind of hatred is crazy to me, you know, and it doesn't make you any better than you thought he was. As a matter of fact, it probably makes you a little bit worse because you still have that hatred towards somebody you never met in your life, and he doesn't even know who you are. He never met you, so he doesn't even know you, but he probably doesn't hate you the way you hate him, or the way or the way you hated him, or whatever. So you got to let that go. You got to let the hate go, because it doesn't take away his accomplishments. It doesn't take away all the good things that he did. I'm sure he did a lot of good things. I'm sure he did a lot of good charity events, and probably met a lot of kids and a lot of different fans that looked up to him and signed autographs and shook hands and kissed babies. And he did all that. He did all that stuff, I'm sure. Whether he wanted to or not, he still did. He was a brand, so he had to he accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. He wanted to be famous, and that's what happens. And I seen a lot of people say, make comments like, what they say, either you die a hero or you live long enough to be the villain, and he lived too long and stuff like that. And it's just like, well, that could be all of us, right? Because none of us are perfect. I don't know anybody who is. I'm damn sure not. And if you are perfect, then excuse me, then I exclude you from this discussion. All right? Wasn't talking about you, Mr. or Miss Perfect, whoever you are. But the rest of us imperfect people, I'm speaking to us. Listen, Hulk Hogan, I will remember him as a positive impact on my life personally. His personal life is not my business. I don't care about his personal life. I don't care about any celebrity's personal life. It's like they say, you're not supposed to idolize people, right? Or they like to say in sports or something like your idols become your rivals, or yeah, if you be careful who you idolize because you might be disappointed when you meet him and things like that. Uh, which is true. Which is why I don't care about their personal lives. Only what their entertainment persona is the only thing that I pay attention to. Because now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I if you watch any bit of the news, then then they're gonna report it anyway. So you're gonna hear it whether you want to or not. I just don't ingest it to the point uh, that it makes me have personal feelings, if that makes sense. So I don't like it. It doesn't matter to me because I have my own life, and I have things I have to do and things I want to accomplish myself. So I can't really uh, have time to worry about someone else's personal life. But I will remember the positive things, and I'll still carry them. Like to this day, man. All the I had like I said, man, I had the workout set, I had the action figures and the folders, and man, listen, he was the man. I watched when the movies came out. When he was in No Hose Bar with Zeus, also known as Tiny Lister, who was Debo from the Friday movies. uh, Listen, man, you know, I'm a ride with that. I'm gonna ride with that, and I'm gonna say that Terry Bollea, uh, I'm gonna say he wasn't a racist, that he was just prejudiced, as most people are, especially when it's something you don't understand. So you gotta cut the man some slack, man. Let his family grieve. They're going through enough. The things, like I said, the things he went through in his personal life are, I'm sure he suffered enough. You know, between the family issues and lawsuits and probably I mean, I can only imagine how he felt physically. His body was broken down from years of wear and tear from wrestling. Even though most people would be like, "Oh, it's fake." Well, yeah, you can't fake falling. You can't fall on the ground and fake that. That's gonna hurt. It's gonna leave a mark. And honestly, I believe all sports are scripted anyway. So it's the same thing. Wrestling is the same thing as football. It's the same thing as basketball. It's the same thing. You just got. Uh, it's just a different sport. It just seems like it's real because, well, yeah, they are hitting each other. They are running up and down the court, and they're putting wear and tear on their bodies. Yes, so it's different but the same. But I do believe that the outcomes are scripted. I'll save that for another video. But to get back to Hogan, um, yeah, part of my childhood died, man. But I mourned Hulk Hogan long before he passed. Like I said, man, with the footage that came out, yeah, I was already like, well, you kind of had to let that go. You had to let that childhood go. So yeah, I kind of mourned him way before he passed, but at the same time, it's still the 8 to 12-year-old me is sad, and my condolences to his family and friends, who knew him the best, who knew who he was, and I'm sure he treated them great. And maybe not all of them, but there's people that he meant a lot to, and you got to have some sensitivity to those folks, you know. So I see a lot of things online. I see a lot of negative comments online, man. Keep it to yourself if you can. If you got a heart or you got a family that care about you and you care about them, keep those comments to yourself. You don't have to share your opinion every time. But RIP to Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Hulkamania, brother, will live forever. He was the man, man. And I'm gonna have a lot of good memories of him. And he made it to 71, which for a wrestler is old, because a lot of wrestlers, man, I swear they don't make it to 50. Uh, but he made it to 71 and he was still active, and he was still on the move, man. That's crazy. He was still uh, going around promoting his beer and going on these beer tours. I believe he was supposed to come to Cleveland. I don't know if it was next month or something. I think he was scheduled. I think he was here early this year. I think he's supposed to come later this or late in August or something like that. But obviously that won't happen. But he was still moving around and still doing things, man. Still trying to accomplish goals. So that just goes to show you that no matter what your age is, you can still move around. If you can move around, then you can still get things done. And eventually his body probably got tired or his soul got tired and he just, you know, decided to call it a life full of ups and downs, man, just like many of us face. And there's only one thing that can judge us, and he's being judged right now, and we'll meet that same fate, and we all will. And it won't be because of karma. It'll be because all of us were born, and all of us will die. And in between, we got to live the best way we can. Man, it's crazy, man, right? You know, he went by the immortal Hulk Hogan at times. And you know what? That's true. Terry Bollea passed, but Hulk Hogan is immortal. Yeah, man. Well, I don't want to keep rambling because I'm sure I can think of more things to say. Because once I start talking, somehow I don't know how to stop. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this right here, and hopefully hopefully this will put a different perspective for those who are having some negative thoughts and feelings about Hogan. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to change anyone's opinion or anything like that. Your opinion is yours and you're entitled to it. But sometimes it's good to keep an open mind and maybe let some of that anger and hatred go, because it really just drains your energy, and you could be using that for something else. Oh man. So with that being said, man, R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. I know I said it like 3 times earlier, but I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna end this with the same way I end all my videos. Y'all be easy, brother.